Microphone ready. Microphone ready. Microphone ready.
Charlie's like, I'm not in a barbershop quartet. I am a barber. Oh.
And Charlie again. Welcome to Five Live Bears. We were just testing out our singing voices. Charlie sings tenor for the local barbershop quartet he's in.
Daddy sings bass.
Charlie, what's the name of your barbershop quartet?
I can't think of anything appropriate to say right now.
Welcome to Five Live Bears. Again, we're glad you're here. Whatever time you're listening to us, whether it's morning, night, afternoon,
or if you're just going to fast forward 30 minutes and start listening then.
And if you're just a second half listener, we'll talk to you soon. But we're glad you're here another week. If you know our format, we do record two shows the same night. So when I asked everybody the second episode how their week was, it's a little awkward because they already told you.
When you ask us how our week goes, it usually is awkward regardless of which episode it is.
But at least tonight we got double croc night. So
I would encourage you to tune into last week's episode. There was some great voice acting by John.
Harmonica
playing by John.
Yeah.
Last Jedi stumping from John. It was a really hashtag John.
It was my podcast last
week.
week.
Universe.
This episode, John's in a breakdance.
This episode, John's probably going to say anything. I'm just going to turn my mic
But we're
off.
glad you're here.
Wow.
Around the room, real quick, we do have
sounds
Brian. Brian, how you doing tonight?
Doing fantastic.
How's the new house?
It's coming along nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What color did you paint Teddy's room?
That is like a Sully monster green or blue, I guess.
Blue. Did you put purple polka dots on it?
No, we did not.
More work for him to do, thanks, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Jenny, turn the podcast
I
off right now.
expect the highest out of you.
No, you
So,
didn't.
purple polka dots.
I'm actually going to hand paint a mural myself. I mean, I've been taking these art classes.
that's
Oh, wait, no,
John.
that's John. My
Let me
bad.
tell you,
Sorry.
man, John didn't take any art classes. John
I'm
did
just
it
bored with
naturally.
it.
I can bring my airbrush over. We'll do some stuff.
Well,
Can I
he's-
get the whole Monsters University crew on this room?
He's gonna play the
If
harmonica.
you got the money and the time and the wood, we can do it.
Hey,
so
man, if that's what it takes.
Yeah.
That's what it takes.
we can do some of it.
Also on the couch is my friend, your friend. His name is Charlie. Charlie?
Hashtag couch life.
Charlie. Charlie was talking to me before the podcast that he got the NES Mini. We mentioned that last week. He told me, Aaron.
Was it in the car? Could you bring it in?
He told me
I
he's going
thought
to get
about
it.
it.
He's
Oh,
going
he
to get it
should've brought
modded, Aaron. Any tips on modding your NES?
There's a Reddit community that has like step-by-step instructions. It's super, super easy.
He's got a friend that's going to do it for him. It's even easier.
Oh,
The
okay. Well, that makes it super easy. Yeah.
the staffing coordinator at work does that. Then he told me he'd do it for me. He actually called me yesterday at home when I was off work and reminded me that it was coming out today. So I remembered to get one.
What
That's
are you modding on it?
You can add all of the. There's a way to mod it to add all of the NES games.
Oh,
So
And Genesis, but that's, I think, how Aaron screwed his up.
yeah, I'm not going to go for Genesis or Sega Master System and all the other Game Boy. I'm just going to
The
go
Jaguar.
maybe Game Boy. Maybe.
The Jaguar.
Yeah,
Also,
you really can't break it because you can just reset it to factory settings and it's fine.
Right.
Wah, wah.
that on the phone as you're hearing is Aaron all the way down in Texas. Aaron, at this point, your kids should be back with you. Did they bring anything wonderfully from Kentucky back to you?
Yeah, they brought Kinsey. I don't know how she got in the car.
You got my kid?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
We should be trying to go see Ant-Man and Wasp by this time next weekend.
Ooh,
So
I am so excited for Ant-Man.
That's right.
John, you excited about Ant-Man?
yes, I am. I'm ready to see it.
What?
What are you doing?
I'm just saying, I forgot Ant-Man. We should have done an episode on Ant-Man.
Yeah, we didn't.
Wait, he kind of snuck up on us. Oh.
We can quit and start over.
And reset, folks. Okay, here we
John,
go.
how are you, buddy?
Pretty good.
Anything new in the summer life of a teacher
Not
middle school teacher.
who doesn't
middle
do
school
anything
teacher.
during the summer?
Yeah, I do plenty in the summer. Thank you very much.
I meant you don't work in the
Oh no, I don't do that. I don't work in the summer. No, it's fine. It's hot.
I recorded a song yesterday.
No, I haven't done anything like that this week. I've been playing baseball this week. I've been on the baseball kick. I showed it to Tim earlier. No, I'm done with the PS4 baseball. I found a
UTP.
new thing.
Out of the park.
Yeah, out of the park baseball on Steam. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I'll show it to you later.
Let me guess. You can create your own team. Highly detailed customizations.
You know me well. Yes. Not highly customizable things. everything can be.
Wow.
Every
Can
nuance.
you customize the color of the grass at the ballpark?
Yes.
You can make it.
You can build
There's
it. You
nothing
can,
else you have to say
you
after
can
that.
build your own ballparks.
Ooh.
Can you build your own hot dogs at the ballpark?
You can.
Can you
can
choose your condiments that you're allowed to
You
get?
can.
Condiments.
Spicy
No, I'm
Szechuan.
not-
Hold on.
That's not what I'm talking about. I was just thinking we're talking about
There was
a
a-
game where you can possibly make your own hot dogs. I'm just like
There is a.
John's basically got a baseball Sims game.
It's yeah. You can. I can decide how much I want to charge for the hot dogs though.
No. I mean, do you want
Do you-
like
can you
sauerkraut
really?
on top of them?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
You decide on concessions.
You could do that in NBA.
Do you get to
2K,
choose
though.
like theme nights?
No,
like
but
which
this
night's
is beyond
bobblehead
that. I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
No, it can't go
Star
that
Wars
far, but
night.
I'll.
Sounds
I'll
like,
That'd be awesome.
uh,
And like have scalpers hanging outside of your of your ballpark.
okay, let's get on with it. All right, we're done.
All right. Anyways,
Not to get too far.
if
My
you're
bad,
still
folks, my
with
bad.
us,
Scalpers were just a bridge
I
too far.
appreciate it. We're going to do something a little bit different tonight. We've been talking about some different ideas, some different theme type episodes that we're going to be doing. One of our ideas is we've been talking about doing movie pitches, which one of us comes with a movie idea or we draw out of a hat, a genre, not out of your hair.
Oh, I thought I
Brian.
had one there. Sorry.
That was weird. A movie genre, and then we build a movie off of it. So, what we're gonna do for you the first half tonight is we're gonna lay out a movie, how we'd like to see it made, who we'd like to see in it, maybe even give it a title, something like that. Aaron's gonna start us off tonight. We're gonna be a little bit honest with you. This might go incredibly amazing. This might go incredibly bad. But either way,
Knowing us, there's a good chance it's
Brian,
going.
what could it might be? What's
a dumpster fire.
It could be. But then again, I don't think even our worst is still better
Than
than
Justice
Justice League.
Oh, okay. Aaron, the bar has been set. Justice League, all right? You gotta
We
be
gotta
And
get-
go. Okay.
So, Aaron, you have a movie idea for us. Give us a little background.
Okay. I'm having some audio issues, but hopefully I'll be able to get through this. So let me paint a picture for you.
Paint it.
We got a guy named Stephen Clark, and he is living in the apocalypse. He believes himself.
Oh yes.
He believes himself to be the last man on Earth. We can pick your apocalypse: zombies, robots, whatever. But he thinks he's the last man on Earth. And then one day he hears something outside, and he opens the door, and there is a red Santa Claus coat floating there,
I
and
totally
it jumps
thought
on him.
I totally thought I'm in the middle of
This
the movie
is
golf.
a sequel to the Santa Claus series from Tim Allen. He is the new Santa Claus. This is Santa Claus 4, the Undead Claus.
What?
And
It's gone too
and
far.
so now he has to deliver toys, but he doesn't even know if there's any kids left. He doesn't know what's happened to the elves in the North Pole. And so now he has to figure all this out.
Aaron, what in the world is going on?
And we knew how this
inside
was going.
Your
Okay.
brain.
But I got the opening scene.
Okay,
I-
John's got the opening scene.
pan in and you have a house and it's sitting in the middle of a neighborhood. The rest of the house is all rickety. All the other houses are rickety and tore up. Mr. Steven here understands that it is Christmas time. So he's got his house semi-decorated, but not too much because he doesn't want the undead to come and break into his house. And he's sitting in the middle of the living room and it's just got his Christmas trees there, but it's no lights on it or anything. And that's your opening scene.
So even though it's end of the world, he's got
going on?
he's got his own. He's already got Christmas trees.
Yeah, well, he
That's
went
what
out and
it's
cut
like.
down the tree in his front yard.
Couldn't he have just gotten one from the Walmart that since he's post-apocalypse? I mean, you
Well,
know.
it depends on how far out in advance the apocalypse started.
So should we establish that?
Aaron,
Yeah.
Aaron, can you hear us?
You're breaking up really bad.
Sorry, Aaron. How long has the apocalypse been going on?
32 minutes.
Couple of years, because
Exactly
as far as
9
he knows,
minutes.
he hasn't seen another human in a long
Okay,
time.
so if he's going to be the undead Claus and he's got his Christmas stuff up, that means he is a lover of Christmas. So in his house, in this neighborhood, nobody else exists, but inside his house is full of Christmas stuff. Right? Is that how we're going with
yeah,
it?
he had it all in his basement, and he went down there. Of course, he's living in the apocalypse, so he's probably it's been established already that he is he's a survivor. He is one of those preppers.
He's a prepper.
No, see, I think the part that you guys missed is that this is a continuation of Tim Allen's movie. So as soon as he puts the coat on, he's immediately transported to the North Pole, and the elves survive.
But we haven't got there yet.
Yes.
But we haven't got there
Okay,
yet.
hold on. Who is playing Stephen Clark? I think it's got to be somebody with like a beard, kind of a rugged survivor.
There's only one person that could play this. That would be Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa.
That's my elf.
Aaron,
That's
Aaron, are
Okay,
you okay?
so-
Aaron, are you okay with Jason Momoa being our star?
I was gonna say Galifianakis, but yeah, I think
Same
Same
thing.
thing. Yeah. Same thing.
Or,
All right.
okay.
Or
I was
This
going to go
is-
with Tom Hardy, and you couldn't understand him.
I was gonna, or the guy who plays Abraham on Walking Dead.
Oh, Andrew Lincoln?
No,
No,
Abraham.
no, yeah,
Abraham.
No, I'm good with Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa.
All right, so we
Well,
have
this
movie's
we
already
have our
nothing but
movie.
ridiculous. To have him is going to make it even more ridiculous.
We have our movie, Last Man on Earth. Jason Momoa opens the door. There's the Santa Claus suit. Puts it on. He's immediately transported to the North Pole.
Yeah.
Brian, what does he find at the North Pole?
A full army of elves.
So the elves have survived.
The elves are the only ones that can survive because they're inside the ice dome.
But
they've
but does-
weaponized?
What now?
They've weaponized?
They've weaponized that
Okay.
because
But
they
do they-
realize what's going on.
but here's the thing: do they understand what's going on? Because they're at the North Pole, aren't they?
oh, no, they know everything in the world that's going on. That's part of Santa's operation.
Okay, so how did
All
the
right,
original
Yeah,
Santa
they see
die? Though?
everything.
Dude.
So let me say this. What if the point of this movie is that there are kids out there,
Yes.
something has taken them and captured them. Jason Momoa has been selected as Santa Claus to go to the North Pole to lead an army of elves to save the children of the world.
Why did this movie just get
But-
good real fast?
Because this is what makes it so
Because
fun.
of Jason Momoa.
I was gonna say
You're
that
welcome.
the elves don't want to make weapons; they're peace loving. He has to kind of toughen them up and teach them that
He's got a
They,
wooden
have,
how
they
to
just
use
have
guns and
wooden
stuff.
swords.
In a
and shields and
massive,
stuff.
well, and that's the thing is because he gets up there and they're like, "We understand, we know that that's all
That's
this
how
and
elves
that."
talk?
Oh, it is on this, and he's like, "Whoa, you got an army?" And he's like, "Yeah, because they're thinking toy soldiers though. They're not thinking in the long lines of battle." So
But toy tanks.
so they spend like the entire day, and he's all revved up, and he's sitting there brooding in Santa Claus's.
And he asked them to bring them weapons to him to show him what they got, and they show up with
And they just
with
bring him hot
pop,
chocolate.
like pop guns and like rubber band shooters and just the most ridiculous toy weapons, and he just loses it.
And he's like, "Don't you understand?" And he pulls the snow globe out.
Yes.
He's like, "Don't you understand what's going on?"
But there's one elf,
Okay.
the one elf that had to make toys for the Vietnamese children during the Vietnam War, who's had all these toys lined up that Santa wouldn't let him, AK-47s, rocket launchers, this grizzled elf who's seen some crap.
Seen some
And they're
stuff.
like, when Momoa throws his big fit, he walks through with a cigar hanging out of his mouth. He's like, "I've been preparing for this for 50 years."
He's got a patch.
Is he-
eye.
Patch eye, all
Oh,
this stuff.
yeah.
It's like when Santa Claus went to drop the toys off to the Vietnamese children, he fell out of the sleigh and had to like fight.
Well,
his
and
way
that's
back
and
to
that's the whole thing
Fight
is
his
because
way
like
back.
Manoa comes up and like leans against the bar and he's sitting there smoking. The old elf sitting there smoking a cigar, and he was like, "I was on the last sleigh out of Saigon." And yeah, okay, it's building now. We got this thing
All
going.
right, so they both
I'm kinda
decide
in for
they
that.
both decide together they've got to whip this elf army into shape. They got to show them how to make weapons. They've got to teach them how to fight. But before we get there, we got to figure out what is our villain. What are they fighting?
There's only one other thing it can be. How did the original Santa Claus die? He got bit.
Are we fighting
So he's out
So-
there.
So Momoa Claus has got to fight zombie Santa Claus.
zombie Santa Claus.
Oh.
And so
Is it
zom-
Tim Allen?
It is Tim
Oh,
Allen.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
Tim
zombie
Allen.
Tim Allen.
It is
Yes.
Tim Allen.
Oh, and so like he didn't kill the children because he's Santa Claus. He thinks he's taking them as hostage, or he's keeping them.
He needs more elves.
Yes.
And he sees that zombies can't really work.
So he's going to make the kids make toys, but at the same point, he's killed all the rest of the adults, though, right?
But he, in his mind, he's speaking to them, and he still thinks he's Santa Claus. And all they hear is "Brrrr," so they're scared
Got
to
it.
death.
Got it. So what is his army? Does he have an army like of the undead
Zombies.
undead humans
Mhm.
and zombies? Okay,
But he's got them in elf costumes.
nice.
It's
Well, it's all the mall workers.
Yeah, it's the mall workers.
Yes.
It's all the mall workers. Got it. got it.
So is it
I-
the mall? Is it the mall workers who dress as Santa Claus?
No,
so
it's
it's like a
elves.
giant.
Just the
army-
elves.
Just the elves.
Just
Oh.
the elves.
Just the elf workers.
the
So
Tim-
is that where Tim Allen is? Is in a mall?
Yeah.
Or
he's in the
Mall of America.
The Mall of America.
Well,
Is that
of
the
course.
biggest one, right?
Yeah.
It's in-
Yeah.
in
like-
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
It's in it's in St. Paul.
Minneapolis, St. Paul,
Yeah. So he
Twin
has
cities.
gathered all the children of all the world.
'Cause he's got a sleigh with, of course.
Well, it can't be all of them
zombie
because there
reindeer.
has to be somebody to save.
Well, that's
Oh, okay,
so he's
okay.
gotta
I thought-
save-
yeah, okay, I got
That's
you.
where they got to
Okay,
go to save
yeah.
him. And he's
All of the
gotta-
children of
oh,
all the world.
And the
It's a lot of kids.
the
Why am I just waiting for Kevin James to show up here in the middle of this movie?
the grizzled
somewhere?
elf,
Huzzah.
the Vietnam survivor elf,
Yeah.
Danny DeVito.
with Paul Blart rolling up on his.
No, like I almost think the elves need to be voiced. So they're like they're people, but like the voices like almost like
can't-
computer generated maybe.
What was that movie with Paul Giamatti as Santa Claus's brother? He was played by
Fred
Fred
Claus.
Fred Claus.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like that. That was really disturbing. That
Okay,
you had the
all
regular
right.
actors just miniaturized. It's kind of insensitive. I mean, we
Okay.
are making a movie about Vietnam
Yeah.
surviving
Okay,
elves.
so you
but
got
still.
Danny DeVito as your. So they have now whipped the elves into shape.
Well, but hang on. There's got to be in a case like this, since you're taking them from one point to another, you have to establish how they were whipped into shape. So you got to have a
training
montage.
montage.
training montage.
The thing that
So what's the music for the training montage here?
It's the training montage from Army of Darkness, where Ash is showing them how to fight with the
This
bow
is
staff.
my boomster.
Yeah.
And then it's just like hijinks and
So like, of course,
They're like swimming with polar bears.
some point-
and,
at some point-
like a couple of them get ate.
at some point they're all like in army lines and they're doing like kung fu, like in sync. Yeah,
Everybody
like,
was kung fu
it's-
fighting.
It
That'd be
starts
awesome.
off like they can't do the moves. Like he goes through the like 4 or 5 steps and like nobody can do it, and it gradually progresses, almost like a Mulan montage where they all can do all the steps and they all can climb the top of the tower. There's stuff like that. In fact, I think the Mulan song would be perfect. Let's get down to business. Only Jason Momoa sings it.
well, it would have to be a high orchestra, like heavy musical montage. You couldn't have lyrics in it
Okay.
because
no
we're talking
lyrics.
about a serious movie here. I mean, we're
Oh man, that would be
or
good.
Santa Claus is coming to town or something.
Oh,
Like a metal version.
yeah, like a metal
Yeah.
version of Santa Claus is coming to town. That's perfect, Aaron. That's great. So he whips them up. Meanwhile, zombie.
Hey, can we?
Yeah, Aaron.
I can't think of his name. The guy from 21 Jump Street, not
Channing
not,
Tatum?
Channing Tatum.
No, the other guy. The other guy.
Richard Grieco?
No.
Oh,
Richard
the one that lost all the weight.
Johnny
Johnny
Depp.
Depp?
No,
The one that
Jonah.
lost-
I was
Jonah.
gonna say
Jonah.
I wanted to cast
John
him.
Louise's son.
No, it's Jonah.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. I
Yeah.
want to see him cast as a annoying elf and get killed by the zombies.
He's like the elf that always cusses, because in them action movies, them like horror action movies, it's the dude who always cusses the most that dies.
Like a Bill Paxton from
Yeah.
Aliens. We're gonna die, man. We can't
He's
do
like,
this.
Mother peppermints.
So he's negative.
Mother peppermints.
Mother peppermints. Fantastic.
Everything they say, peppermints.
Everything that's
Oh,
like,
peppermint off.
ah, these candy cane mother peppermints. Something like that.
Yes.
Perfect. So, the night that they're preparing, though, they're getting the sleigh together, and we're introduced to actually Santa's reindeers are actually still there, led by, of course, Rudolph. Only Rudolph.
Is
Rudolph.
half cyborg.
He's half cyborg because he was carrying Tim Allen when Tim Allen got bit by a zombie,
Right.
and he barely got out. They had to rebuild him, and now he's half cyborg. His nose not only glows, but it shoots a laser beam out,
Absolutely.
and he can talk.
Completely melts
He can
people.
talk. So who voices Rudolph?
John Cena.
Got to have a wrestler in this.
yes.
Yeah,
So we'll give it to John.
Vincent K. McMahon.
Vince
Oh.
McMahon.
Yes.
He can only talk in a like a ring announcer Vince McMahon voice. That's the only way they could program him.
No, evil Mr. McMahon.
Well,
Evil
but-
Mr.
so
Mc-
like when he shoots his laser beam at somebody, it sets them on fire.
You're
Well,
fire.
But the reason why it is that way, because you don't want to have a plot hole here. The reason why it is that way is because it was the only voice box they had left from a box of old wrestling toys that
Right,
they were making.
exactly.
Everything else was
Yeah,
gone.
so you got to fill in your plot holes here.
Right.
Well, it wasn't the only thing they had left. It was the only thing. He was being worked down in the field.
Yeah,
So he's half cyborg, like made from like toy parts.
yeah.
So and
Okay,
so
I
that's the
can
only
dig
thing
that.
he had available. This wizard elf that was working on him
I can get with that.
he was using all the
Right,
voice
grab the
was
Vince McMahon box
voice.
and different things.
It's a good
So,
catch, John.
We're good. We're good. So
That's why I'm here.
they show up at the Mall of America, and the Mall of America outside of the mall is just this undead, ginormous horde of zombie elf mall workers. And
Is it zombie elf mall workers or all the mall workers from the other stores?
It's
Like it's the Hot Topic staff.
No, no,
the-
it's just-
the
it's
Gap
just-
staff.
Oh, that would be cool.
No, I
Like-
think because you need to save the elves for inside of the mall. Like they're
Okay.
the
As the
royal
last-
guard.
as that final
so
line
they
of defense.
turned all the
Yeah.
mall workers from the Mall of America as the first line of defense.
Yes, like the
because
Great Cookie Company.
because what
you know,
we
they've got
find
their
out
spatula.
is the apocalypse starts on Black Friday.
Oh, even better.
Wow.
Perfect.
Wow.
Black
So
Friday.
it's just chock full of
Yeah.
workers and people.
Yeah. All right. So they land. Aaron, how's the battle start off? Aaron, you there? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. I think, is there a way we could make the sleigh crash land into the crowd?
Well, I
He
mean,
spies way
as
through
they're
the crowd?
flying in, like they could get under fire. Somehow.
Well,
Or it could be like World War Z. They could all just like start jumping up on top of each other and
they
just grab it
climb,
and pull it
they
down.
Pull the sleigh down.
And then it's just Momoa coming out.
Or
Boom, 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 candy canes everywhere.
hang on, or there's
Could
a
we
traitor
have
in their
giant
midst.
Christmas tree.
Oh,
There's a traitor in their midst. How about that?
the Vietnam one.
no,
No,
the Jonah,
he's the-
the
he's
Jonah
the
Hill
ultimate
one.
good
The
guy.
Jonah Hill one.
Oh,
the
yeah.
traitor. He's
Yeah.
the
Or
traitor.
what if
He
what if
sabotages
there's a
the
giant Christmas tree in front of the mall that the zombies climb up and jump off of onto the sleigh and make it
weigh
crash?
it down.
Either way, yeah.
We'll have to film both and see which one comes
Yeah.
out better.
Okay, so it crashes, and what happens, Aaron?
We lose a lot of elves, but maybe there's a meek elf that is real shy and doesn't want to do violence. All of a sudden, it kind of snaps out of it and just goes bloodthirsty and starts taking everybody
Manoa-
out, and, like leading
well,
the charge.
the little shy one is the one that has to get them into the mall, and there has to be some kind of secret entrance. And Manoa grabs him by the front of his jingly little collar and is like, "It's up to you. It's up to you to get the gates open."
no.
Because you're my elf.
Yeah, and here's what
That's
happens.
my elf right
here's
there.
What happens. And somehow, some way, he gets them in there, but he sacrifices himself.
Yeah, so
it's
you
like
gotta
this
have that.
emotional moment. They fight through the horde. He opens the door. He gets it open. Like he had to somehow find the keys off
Or-
somebody.
or better-
he gets the door open, and as soon as he opens it, boom.
Or better yet, he has to come in and open the outside gate because of all the mall workers that are outside, and we've already crashed the sleigh. So that means Jason or Manoa Claus and the elves are coming up. He gets inside, and he has to open the outside gate to the mall from the inside. Well, he hits the button, and it starts up, but something happens, and the gate starts to fall, and he has to run underneath of it and catch it. And here comes Jason.
Oh, and
they're
all the
running,
elves are running
and they're
in
sliding. He's
underneath
like,
him.
ah.
He's holding
And-
it like this, like the.
Yeah.
Like the Cyclops in Curl the Conqueror,
Yeah.
holding the door open for them all to get into.
And then
the
the
mountain.
last minute, I mean, he gets bit.
Yeah.
And to keep himself from becoming part of the problem, he drops the gate and he's on the outside, and he reaches through, and Manoa Claus grabs him by the hand. He's like, "I'll never forget your sacrifice." And he's like, "It is Christmas." And
Yeah, and
It's the greatest
And
gift we
the,
can
the
give.
whole movie,
the whole movie.
the
whatever.
whole movie, that elf is wearing like lots of bells and it's always jingling and driving everybody crazy. And guys, they stop jingling, and they all get sad because the bells went silent.
Yeah. Ooh.
and Manoa Claus looks at the screen. He's like, "Let's end this."
Yeah. So
Going
now they're
full Aquaman.
inside the mall. All right, we got to wrap this up in like 5 minutes. We're,
This is more fun than I thought it was going to be.
okay, I mean, we're inside the mall, okay? You've got the army of elves that are the mall workers. Rudolph shows up at this point. They thought he died in the sleigh crash. He comes in there and is just laying out zombies in his Vince McMahon voice, going, "You're fired," and just like zapping them and blowing them to pieces. And the kids are locked in every store in the mall with the gate down, and so they're watching it. They're banging on the thing. They're cheering for Santa Claus.
sharpening ice or candy canes to make shivs.
I don't know about that.
Well,
So-
you get the one little kid who reaches out and he grabs a candy cane, he pulls it back in, and he sharpens it. and then he
Yeah.
jabs the guard in the neck and gets his
And the
keys.
eye, 'cause
Yeah,
it's, zombie.
Yeah, Aaron, what Aaron?
So I know how it ends is that Tim Allen is just too strong. They can't get close enough to him. So Jason Momoa has to dress up as a little kid because Tim Allen still thinks he's Santa Claus. So Jason Momoa's going to go sit on Santa Claus's lap, and he stabs him in the head with the candy cane. And that's how he starts.
he's like,
Santa, I got something for you.
Okay,
Merry
and what
Christmas.
is that what he says?
You
Does he say
filthy
Merry-
animal.
Does he say Merry Christmas and stabs him in the head? Is that the finishing line? I mean, because there
He
has
calls
to
him
No,
what was the word y'all were saying earlier? Peppermint. What do you call him?
a mother peppermint.
Yeah, he calls him a mother
It's-
peppermint.
it's-
Charlie's got something.
okay, he's got it.
God bless us, everyone.
God bless
Stabs
him.
him right in the eye.
You
Tiny
filthy
Tim.
animal.
But there has to be a scene. There has to be a scene before this though, because we have the Jonah Hill elf who has to come to his end, where he's like on his knees in front of the Tim Allen Santa Claus, going, "But you promised me."
Oh, if we go the trader route.
yeah, the trader route. The trader always has to get his, so you can't have the plot hole of the trader never. The trader always gets it. So how do we rectify that? Like
how does he die?
so like Jason, the Santa Claus and his elves like sneaking in, and he's like, "You promised me," and then he gets chewed on or
It'd
something.
be like David from Shaun of the Dead, where he gets like pulled through the window and they rip his stomach open.
that's gruesome. What if?
Could
We're
happen,
making
though.
a movie where Santa Claus is a zombie.
Now I believe
and
at the
that's
mall, now at the
gruesome.
Mall of America there is also an aquarium and like a entire roller
a
coaster there.
I mean, we have bypassed the fact that there's fights taking places on roller coasters, in aquariums. What if? What if the trader elf is somehow thrown against one of the mall stores, and the kids grab him and hold him and he either gets torn apart or something like that. But the kids enact revenge.
or
How
Tim
about
Allen goes,
this?
here's the Holiday Express. Boom, and the roller coaster just runs right over him.
the Holiday Express. Aaron, what now?
How about this? Jason Momoa is about to kill Tim Allen, and Jonah Hill's like, "No, that's Santa," and he's the pacifist the whole movie, and he pushes Momoa out of the way and gives Santa Claus a hug, and then Tim Allen kills him.
He just bites his head.
I like the
Yeah.
trader death better. Trader's got to die gruesome deaths. That's just the American way.
Okay, so we have the gruesome death. So we end up, Jason Momoa stabs Tim Allen. He says, "God bless us all," or something like that.
You filthy
They
animal.
free the kids of the world. He's won the day. Wrap us up with an ending and a title. That's what we got. We got 2 minutes.
So at the end, he takes all the kids back to the North Pole with him.
Under the snow dome, so they're safe
Protected in the snow dome.
to repopulate the world.
eventually.
Okay, so what's our title, Aaron?
Well, it's got to be Santa Claus 4, the Undead Claus,
So we got
Undead Claus. Okay,
and as
because it's
it,
like the Escape Claus, and all the other ones had titles like that.
and I've got it at the end. They are under the dome, as you're saying. Manoa holds up the snow globe, and as we're fading to black, John Lennon's "Merry Xmas War is Over" starts to play, and
good.
That's pretty good.
that's the end of our movie.
So Santa Claus 4, the Undead Claus.
So here's what we got. Santa Claus 4. We want to invite everybody to go and watch this at some point in the future, whenever it comes out. Santa
All
Claus.
rights reserved by 5 Live Bears.
The Santa Claus 4, the Undead Claus, starring Jason Momoa, Jonah Hill, and Danny DeVito, will be out at some point.
And
And
the sad
Tim
part
Allen.
is this movie is still better than Justice League.